So in order to create our Kahoot, we'll need to log on to getakahoot.com. So we'll need to sign up for free and create an account. So what we're going to do is enter the fact that we're going to be a teacher and that we're from Melbourne University. So students could do the same thing, say they're a student and they could put in their school. So what you need to do next is create a username. So some students could create their own accounts and they could create their own quizzes to test on their peers, which would be a fun way to do some revision before tests. So students will need to create a password to go along with their account. And once you've done all that, you'll create the account. So once the account's been created, you'll see a screen like this, and you'll be able to make surveys, discussions, and quizzes. So you can also see how many quizzes you've got, how many questions there are, and how many plays per quiz there are. If you're unsure of how to actually play the game, there's a few tutorials you can take. So you'll need to create a title for your quiz, and you'll only get about 95 characters for your title. So once you've entered your title, you can create a brief description, just some keywords about what your quiz is about, and you can add tags so when it's on public, people will be able to search for things and your quiz will come up. So once you've done with your description, you can change your visibility, so you can make it public or private. So today we're going to make it only me, so it'll only be private to whoever we give out the link to. So you can actually change the language settings. So if you're doing a language class, you'd be able to put it into that language. We can also credit some resources or add an image or video. So we're going to just add an image from our file. And now we're ready to start adding in some questions. So we're going to click OK, go. So there's our brief description, our title, and our little thumbnail. So now we're going to add a question. So with the questions, you can only do multiple choice questions, and there's only a certain amount of characters per question. So you've only got 95 characters, so most of your questions will be quite short. So you have to put all your answers in. You can bold out certain words and italicize certain words. You can also make some words bigger and some words smaller. So you can enter in a number of different answers, but you can also reduce the amount of answers that you'd like. So when you're finished with all the answers, you need to click the tick of the correct answer, and that will let students know which one's correct. So you can add an image or a video to assist with the question, and you can choose whether or not to award points for each question. As you can see, you're also able to change the time limit for each question. So if a question's more difficult, you can allow more time, and if it's easier, you can reduce the time. So now you can do the same thing and write some more questions, and we're done with this. So you can click on preview to have a look at your quiz and see if it works well, and we're done. So now we're just going to have a look at a completed quiz, and we'll just run through of how that is set up. So Kahoot's a really great formative assessment for students. They get instant feedback on their answers, and they get to see the correct answer right in front of them. And the environment's a really fun, competitive thing, and it's not like your standard test. One other really cool thing to add onto your Kahoot is a streak bonus. So if students get a number of questions in a row right, then they'll get extra points. So next, students will be given the game pin, and they'll need to use one of their devices, so a phone, iPad, even a laptop, and they can log on to the quiz. So they'll need to log on, enter a username, and it needs to be appropriate. Otherwise, you can click on it, go to the top, and you can get rid of them. So to start your quiz, you click start, and this is the introductory page. And this is the first question. So students will be given the set amount of time, and once everyone's answered, all the times run out, then it will go into the results. So here's the results. That was the correct answer, and we've only got one person playing. So there's the 1. So if everyone gets the answer right, then you know that that's been covered quite well. So again, there we go. It's really good for feedback for both the teachers and the students. Straight away, instant, and there we go. There we have our scoreboard. There's usually about 5 in the scoreboard, top 5, and it lists all the points. So now we've come to the last question. That was the end. There's our scoreboard. There we have the top scorer, the winners page. So after the quiz, the students are able to give their own feedback about how they thought if it was good for learning, if they'd recommend to anyone else, and how they're feeling after doing the quiz. So the final scoreboard, that's when you can give out your prizes. So you can actually download your results into an Excel spreadsheet. So in this, you can have a look at the amount of correct answers overall and the amount of incorrect answers overall. And you can also go through question by question. The student feedback is also in there as well. So you're actually able to have a look and see what answers we're giving for each question. So you can diagnose any misconceptions for the students within the class, and it can shape what you want to work on in your future lessons.